Hello, and welcome back to the channel Stories Beyond the Dash. This is Melissa, and today I want to tell you about a Revolutionary War hero named Peter Cale. He was a Revolutionary War patriot whose life reflects the journey of thousands of early American settlers. He was born in Pennsylvania in the German communities of Berks County, and that area was shaped by the dangers of a colonial frontier and tested during the American Revolution. And he ultimately helped build the young nation as it expanded westward into Ohio. His service has been recognized by the Daughters of the American Revolution, and so his legacy will continue on. Peter was born in 1751 in Tulpehocken Township of Berks County, Pennsylvania. His surname appears in the records with several different spellings, so Cale, Kail, Kehl, or even Kohl. That was not unusual in the German-speaking communities at the time. Sometimes it was a translation error. Sometimes it was just someone was not literate and so then couldn't provide the correct spelling of their name, or perhaps they didn't even know. So if you're from German descension, you will probably be familiar with misspelled names or quote-unquote misspelled names. It was spelled phonetically, so we just know it's the same Peter. If you're related to the Butts family or the Lacey family of Southern Illinois, this is your Patriot ancestor. He was the son of George Cale and Anna Elizabeth Wagoner. You might recognize Wagoner. That's also a very familiar name in the Southern Illinois area. They were both from long-established Pennsylvania German families. Tulpehocken Township was one of the earliest and strongest German settlements in the colonies. And by the 1700s, Berks County had more than 20,000 residents. So it was, a growing county at the time. Most of them were German-speaking farmers and craftsmen and millers. And the community was tightly knit with Lutheran and Reformed churches serving as the center of daily life, because a lot of Germans came to the United States for the primary purpose of being able to have a religious freedom. Peter's childhood unfolded during the French and Indian War, when frontier waves and militia musters were common. Families lived with a constant threat of attack, both from other countries and also from the native Indians at the time. And young men grew up understanding the importance of community defense. This environment shaped Peter into a resilient frontier farmer who understood both the land and the need for protection. In the early 1770s, Peter married Catherine Seltzer, also from a Pennsylvania German family, and together they raised a large family. That was not unusual either at the time to have a very large family because, frankly, you needed the help. Mom needed help in the kitchen to feed all the boys. The boys were working on the farm, and the daughters were helping with laundry, mending, cooking, all those things. Those children that are known are Elizabeth, George, Peter Jr., Johann, Gabriel, Margaret, Marianne, Christina, and Matthew. As their family grew, Peter and Catherine followed the migration pattern of many Pennsylvania Germans, moving from Pennsylvania down south to West Virginia, and then west to Hampshire County, Virginia, which is now a part of West Virginia. This region was sparsely settled, heavily wooded, strategically important during the Revolutionary War. Hampshire County in the 1770s was a rugged frontier with a population of roughly 5 to 7,000 settlers, and the community was a mix of German, Scots-Irish, and English families who lived in small clusters along the south branch of the Potomac River. The economy was based on subsistence farming, so they were cooking what they ate. Basically, they were growing what they ate, hunting and fishing for what they ate. They were pretty much serve yourself dinner, all you can eat, just got to go out there and catch it, grow it, or shoot it. Life was difficult, and the threat of raids from British native forces was constant, and frontier forces and militia companies formed the backbone of the local defense. So basically, every man for himself, together with the community to try to protect your homes. Peter's name appears in descendant-linked records associated with the Hampshire County Militia Service. Men with German surnames like his served under captains such as Elias Poston, John Harness, and Abel Randall. These companies were responsible for guarding settlements, escorting supply trains, and responding to raids. This was not glamorous service. It was dangerous, exhausting, and essential to the survival of the region. Peter is listed in the Daughters of the American Revolution ancestor database as a verified patriot. This means his identity, residence, and service have been confirmed through acceptable documentation. During the Revolution, the Hampshire County militia units played a critical role in protecting the frontier. Their work allowed Continental Army supply routes to remain open and prevented Loyalist and British Allied forces from gaining control of the region. Peter's service fits in the pattern of frontier militia duty, short-term enlistments, rapid musters, and constant readiness. So he might be called away in the middle of dinner, in other words. These men defended their homes, families, and communities while contributing to the broader fight for independence and also while maintaining their farms. It was normally done fairly close to their homes. After the Revolution, Peter continued farming in Hampshire County before joining the wave of veterans who migrated west into Northwest Territory. Ohio became a state in 1803, and Harrison County was formed by 1813. Early settlers included many Revolutionary War veterans seeking new opportunities and fertile farmland. The population of Harrison County in its early years was between 8,000 and 10,000 settlers. Communities were organized around log churches, small farms, and township meetings. The region was rapidly transforming from wilderness into a structured part of the United States. Peter settled in New Rumley, Ohio, where he lived out his final years. His life spanned in the colonial era, the Revolution, and the early decades of the American Republic. When he was born, George Washington wasn't even president, just to put that in perspective for you. So he was definitely not just a Revolutionary War patriot, but he was also a very early settler of the United States. Peter Cale's service is preserved through the Daughters of the American Revolution, ensuring that his contributions to the American independence are recognized. His descendants remember him as a man who lived through the challenges of the colonial frontier, fought for the nation's independence, and helped build the early American Midwest. His story reflects the experience of thousands of German-speaking settlers who shaped the early United States through hard work, military service, and westward expansion. So brief timeline here. Born in 1751, early childhood during the French and Indian War back in the 1750s, 1760s. Early 1770s, he married Catherine Seltzer. Mid-1770s, he migrates to Hampshire County, Virginia, serves in the Revolutionary War and the militia companies. And then 1780s and 90s, he's still in Hampshire County, Virginia. And then in early 1800s, migrates with a land grant to Harrison County, Ohio. And in his final years, he lived in New Rumley, Ohio, and was related or recognized by Dar as a patriot after his death. Thank you so much for your service, Peter, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Have a great day.